Everything must eventually come to an end. Whether it be good or bad, it must come to an end. Today we'll be discussing the end of Fairy Tail and which possible routes writer Hiro Mashima could take to close off the manga series and anime series of Fairy Tail. To start, let's go ahead and talk about the possible ways that Fairy Tail could end. Now, at the time this is being posted, we're currently going through the climax of the Alvarez War arc, so keep that in mind. So my first of many ideas of how Fairy Tail could end is with Acne Logia killing everyone and the story actually ending within an afterlife. Now, before you guys just absolutely lose your shit on me and just absolutely go rage mode in the comments, let me go and take a minute to explain here. Now, I'm going to back up my claim a lot here with the Eclipse arc and how it ended, because I see that as a huge foreshadowing moment for Fairy Tail. We all know that Future Lucy and Rogue's time was ran by dragons within that arc, and after the Eclipse Gate was opened, and once the normal timeline was saved by them, we saw Future Lucy actually end up in the Golden Grassfield scenery. Now, I personally can only assume that this is Hiro Mashima's take on what could be considered an afterlife. We saw everyone who had supposedly died in Future Lucy's timeline, and then it ended off with Natsu telling her to follow him and Happy, and that there was more adventures that awaited for them. And according to Hiro Mashima as well, he plans to have a happy ending for Fairy Tail, unlike his previous work of Rave Master, and in my personal opinion, this definitely fits the credentials of a happy ending for Fairy Tail. So with all of this in mind, at this current point in time within the manga, we don't have a clue as to where Acne Logia is. Ever since the 490s, early 490s when it comes to Fairy Tail chapters, when we saw Eileen utilize the lost magic of Universe 1, we have not seen one singular trace of Acne Logia. Now, although we really don't know where he is at this current point in time, we do know one thing, and that is the fact that he will not take lightly to what Eileen did to him with Universe 1 and all of that. I have no doubt in my mind that when he does return, he will be bringing in the big guns, and what I mean by this is that he will return in none other than his dragon form. Personally, seeing as Acne Logia is easily the strongest being within Fairy Tail right now, it would make sense if he were to actually take everyone out. Now, as I said before with the Eclipse arc, Future Lucy's timeline was taken over by dragons, which in a way, if we're looking at foreshadowing means, definitely would correlate with this. After this, to follow Hiro Mashima's ideology of a happy ending for Fairy Tail, I could definitely see Fairy Tail actually resuming in the Golden Grasslands after everyone is dead. All in all, I see the Eclipse arc as really just possibly something that could just be an absolutely huge foreshadowing moment for the possible ending of Fairy Tail. The next idea I have as to how Fairy Tail could actually end is through us finding out that everything is a story written by Lucy through a book called Fairy Tail. For starters, the name Fairy Tail alone has always been something that has just intrigued me. One, because it's so closely tied with the genre of a fairy tale. Many fairy tales are based off of things like magic, which takes after the general plot and just the idea when it comes to Fairy Tail. And along with this, Lucy has always talked about a book that she has been writing. However, we really don't know much about her book other than the fact that Levi is going to be the first to read it. What if this was just a hint that Hiro Mashima was laying out towards Fairy Tail actually being a story written by Lucy? In my personal opinion, this definitely wouldn't be the ideal way that Fairy Tail could end. However, I do believe that if Hiro Mashima executed this idea well, it could actually be seen as a very fantastic ending. Maybe if he shows everyone in like a modern day setting or something like that. Who knows? This is purely speculation though, so do not hold me to any accord for this. As for any other ways as to how Fairy Tail could end, I'm not really sure, to be honest. However, with Hiro Mashima's end goal that he has stated to have a happy ending, unlike Rave Master, although I don't have any ideas other than the ones I have already presented, I do actually have some future arcs in mind that I would love to see prior to Fairy Tail's ending. Now, for starters, I, along with so many others, agree that we need an arc that covers the past. What I mean by this is an arc that covers such things as, you know, Natsu and Xerath's backstory, the 400-year plan to kill Acne Logia, Xerath's relationship to both Anna and Acne Logia, and as well, personally, I'd love to see it cover more into depth things such as like Xerath and Igneal's connection and Natsu's life with Igneal. Although I do believe this would probably be, you know, attached to the 400-year plan. Nevertheless, though, this would easily become my favorite arc of Fairy Tail, and if it all isn't explained within Alvarez, I'm really hoping Hiro will provide us with this content when it comes to Fairy Tail. Next on the list is a future generation arc, the future generation of Fairy Tail. I'm really hoping that as one of the final Fairy Tail arcs, we could actually receive an insight to the future generation with all the ship's kids and the new master of Fairy Tail, seeing as Makarov recently died. I just love to see all of this personally, just to see all of the characters' development over time. This could also count as a third time skip, and personally, I'm not wanting a 1-year time skip. I'm not wanting a 7-year time skip. Bro, I want like a 20-year time skip, something absolutely huge that just allows us to see the character's development over time, and I'm really hoping as well that this would take place during the teen years of the children. I'd also love to see a Civil War arc within Fairy Tail. If it doesn't already take place in Alvarez, let's be honest here, there's no way that Natsu vs. Grey is over, and by the time that it resumes, I'm guessing the whole guild will know that Natsu's END, and probably even Grey might reveal this, and and some will probably side with Natsu, some will probably side with Gray, thus causing a Fairy Tail civil war in the end of things. This would be absolutely insane to say the very least, though. It's about time that we get another Lucy arc, just another arc centered around our main female protagonist, Lucy Heartfilia. And with everything that's happening with Aquarius, I do believe that Hero is in the works when it comes to an Aquarius and Lucy arc. I personally speculate so much about this arc that I could actually have a name for it, which is Mother's Key. Now, this arc would ideally consist of Lucy and maybe Natsu are happy, or maybe even all of Team Natsu just reuniting and going in search for Aquarius's key, as she did say that's out there in the world somewhere. A God Angstrom arc would absolutely be the most badass thing we have received in a while from Fairy Tail. Now, I'm someone who really hopes that Natsu and Zeref actually settle their differences by the end of the Alvarez arc, and in the instance that they actually do, I could actually see them actually heading off in search of God Angstrom to rid Zeref of his curse. I could also see Larcade tag along, maybe see Natsu, Zeref, and Larcade versus the infamous God Angstrom to get rid of Zeref's curse. But yeah, this would be absolutely really fucking cool. Lastly, this is a huge maybe, but in the instance that Acnologia is gone for good within the Alvarez arc, first of all, that would suck, but I do believe that there would be an Acnologia arc where everyone goes after Acnologia following the Alvarez arc. This is a huge maybe, though, seeing as I think that Acnologia will meet his demise by the end of Alvarez, but if not, we definitely need an Acnologia arc now. That's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Voice your opinions in the comment section below. Do you guys have any ideas when it comes to the end of Fairy Tail or future arcs when it comes to Fairy Tail? Don't forget to leave a like to this video and subscribe if you're new. Peace.